What's up everyone, and welcome to another video. As you probably all already know, I am a big fan of the island of Bali. I've been living here for almost 2 years now, and I love to give tips and tricks on the best things to do on this island and many other things. But the real question is, do people know the real Bali? And the simple answer to this question is no. People don't really know the real Bali. They tend to go to the big cities like Canggu, Seminyak or Kuta, and they just want to spend time here. They party and then they go on, and they miss out on the true authentic Bali, which is beautiful. Over the past few years, I've had many beautiful experiences on this island, and I do feel like I know the true and authentic Bali, and that's why I'm so excited for this video, because this is a real passion of mine and I want to show you guys how to discover the real and authentic Bali. Let's dive in. Number 1 is to go to local markets. Local markets are the place to find friendly faces, local products and cheap prices. Local markets are called local for a good reason. It is because local people offer their products here for very cheap prices, and this way you can support the locals by buying their organically grown products. By visiting local markets, you will also have a better idea of what kind of products are grown here in Bali, and you also get to meet local people, and you maybe can even have a small conversation with them, which definitely introduces you to the real Bali. Number 2 is to participate in a local ceremony, and this is actually one of the most important ones, and let me explain to you why. This is because Balinese people follow the unique form of Hinduism, also called Agama Hindu Dharma. Balinese Hinduists believe in the power of nature. They believe that each element is influenced by spirits and ancestors. So spirits and ancestors are very highly appreciated, and that is why you see people making rituals and offerings every single day. Every important event in human life is always followed by a particular ceremony. So for example, there are ceremonies for birth, puberty, maturity, marriage or death. Then there are ceremonies on important holidays in Balinese calendar, such as Nyepi, the Day of Silence, Galungan and Kuningan, or ceremonies connected with natural phenomena, like for example full moon or no moon. With these ceremonies and daily rituals, people are getting closer to the gods, ancestors, families and communities. These days are super special, and people are all dressed up in their traditional outfits and carry out their ceremonies. If you want to capture the Balinese culture at its best, I definitely recommend you attend one of these ceremonies, and if you are a photographer or a videographer, these moments are beautiful to capture because you see a lot of love, you see a lot of belief in the Balinese culture, and it is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime thing you really have to do. Number 3 is to interact with the locals. A big mistake that people make when they come to Bali is to, for example, go to Canggu and only meet up with other Western people, and they completely forget about the locals, and that is such a shame. Balinese people actually believe in karma, which is understood as a result of physical and spiritual activities of each individual. What you give is what you get, and this is one of the reasons why the people in Bali are always so friendly and helpful. I already traveled a lot around the world, and no one can compare to the friendliness of the Balinese people. They're literally one of a kind, and it would be such a shame if you don't spend time with the local Balinese people and try to get to know them. If you try to speak with them a little bit in bahasa Indonesia, or you even try, you will already get big smiles because they will definitely appreciate this. Number 4 is to have lunch in a local warung. Traditionally, a warung is a small business, usually family owned, in Indonesia that provides a small cuisine at great prices. Not only are these great for the budget, but they also give you a more authentic dining experience while you are in Bali. If you are sticking to the larger towns, the street food stalls are another great way to get a similar experience. Food is deeply entwined with local culture, and you will learn a lot about the Balinese people simply by sampling their cuisine. The Balinese people have a big passion for their local food, and they will appreciate it so much if you try it out. And also make sure you're very careful with the spiciness of the local Balinese cuisine, because it can be very spicy, but most of the dishes are absolutely delicious, and you should definitely try out a few of them to have a better idea of the Balinese culture. Number 5 is to go to remote places. This sounds maybe very simple, but it is definitely a really important one, because if you are staying in the larger towns, you have no idea what the real Bali feels like. And if you visit the remote places in Bali, this will show you the real and authentic Bali away from all the tourist crowds. Here you can see people living the true Bali lifestyle. For example, if I go more towards the east of Bali, here you still can see people having a bath in the river, and this is such an authentic experience that I don't get to see in the Netherlands where I'm from. So definitely go out wherever you live or wherever you have your holiday and explore the more remote areas. Number 6 is to learn bahasa Indonesia. This is so important. Even if you speak a few words, this will help you to understand the Balinese people way more, and you can also learn a bit more about their customs and their culture. Number 7 is to walk around or bike around. I know it can be very tempting to hire a driver and let him drive you around the island, but then you'll miss all the fun, I can guarantee you that. When you are either walking or you are on a bike, you will see way more details, and you can also stop once in a while and interact with the locals or take pictures of the beautiful scenery. For me, when I'm walking around town, I'll get invited into local people houses and they offer me coffee or something else, and this is how I learned a lot more about the Balinese culture, and I also learned to speak way more bahasa Indonesia. So it's definitely a big tip, because if you are in a car, you're missing out on all the fun. Number 8 is to explore the nature. Go into Bali's nature and explore all it has to offer. Bali is home to volcanoes, rice fields, cities, waterfalls, lush green forests, and many more other things. Explore all these areas and you will have a better idea of what the island really looks like, because there are so many different varieties of nature in Bali, and it is definitely a must to explore almost all of them. Number 9 is to try and understand the Indonesian culture. This is such an important one because you are a visitor on the island of Bali, and you will have to try to understand their customs and their rituals in order to communicate better with the locals and to understand where they're coming from. So definitely try to read already a little bit before you are visiting the island, and try to know why they are doing things and not be judgmental. If you don't understand the Indonesian culture, you're probably wondering why Balinese people are doing what they are doing, and you can create a distance between you and them, and that's not what you want. Or you can also disrespect them in a way by not knowing of their customs. So it's definitely a must to try to understand what they are doing and why they are doing it. Last but not least is number 10, and this is to visit a Balinese temple. There are many temples in Bali that allow you to soak up the local culture and the rich history. The most famous one is probably the Tanah Lot temple. It's located on a small island and it makes it very scenic. And the best time to visit it is during sunset, where you can capture the perfect Instagram shot. Aside from Tanah Lot, there are a lot of other temples scattered across the island, which offer unique insights into the real Bali. Whether you're looking for a spiritual experience or simply you want to check out the local monkey population, it is worth going there to get a true authentic Balinese experience and also learn about their beliefs. So these were my 10 tips on how to discover the true and authentic Bali. I really hope you learned something from this video and you can implement them in your next Bali adventure. And I wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you have other tips or recommendations, please put them down in the comments below. I'm always open to learn and to get more information. And again, thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in my next Bali adventure.